Have you ever stopped to think that the very routines you take for granted, those simple acts of washing and grooming, might be leaving out some critical areas of your body? Most of us assume that a quick shower, a swipe of deodorant, and a brushing of teeth are enough to keep infections and inflammation at bay, but in reality, there are 5 key parts of our bodies that often go unnoticed, neglected, or cleaned improperly. These unsung areas, if overlooked, can lead to persistent health issues that sap our energy, weaken our immune systems, and even contribute to serious conditions like diabetes complications or heart disease. Imagine that every day you're unknowingly carrying around a layer of bacteria and debris that's quietly undermining your well-being. What would you do if you could erase that hidden obstacle with just a few extra minutes of care? Today, I'm going to reveal those 5 critical spots, areas most people, especially older adults, fail to clean properly, and show you straightforward, practical steps to protect yourself. These are not expensive or time-consuming habits, they are simple tweaks that can make a profound difference for your energy levels, your circulation, your immune resilience, and yes, even your longevity. By the end of this video, you will know how to give these overlooked areas the targeted attention they need, and once you start, you'll notice subtle but powerful improvements in how you look, feel, and move through your day. Before we begin, if you're new to this channel and you care about living healthier, put a thumb up on this video and hit that subscribe button. It really helps me bring you more life-enhancing tips. Now, picture a morning routine where, instead of rushing through a quick lather and rinse, you pause just a little longer to address the spots that never see the light of day. You'll start to feel fresher, your skin will feel smoother, and one day soon you might realize that you haven't woken up with a scratchy throat or low energy in weeks. That's the promise of knowing exactly how and why to clean these 5 hidden areas. Let's begin with the first one, and I think you'll be surprised to learn just how critical it is: your tongue. Most of us brush our teeth every morning and night, thinking that the minty foam is banishing all the bacteria responsible for bad breath and infections. But did you know that even the best toothbrush bristles barely reach the surface of your tongue? The truth is that your tongue is a petri dish for hundreds of different microbes, some helpful, many harmful, lining every ridge, valley, and crevice. If left uncleaned, these bacteria can migrate to your gums, inflame your oral tissues, and even enter your bloodstream through tiny cuts in the mouth. Over time, chronic buildup on the tongue has been linked to heart disease, diabetes complications, and respiratory infections. Here's the simplest way to turn that around: invest in a tongue scraper. It's a small, inexpensive tool, often just a thin piece of plastic or metal with a gentle edge. First thing in the morning, after rinsing your mouth with water, take the scraper and start at the back of your tongue. Gently press down, then drag forward in smooth strokes toward the tip. You'll likely see a thin white or yellow film coming off. This is the bacteria, dead cells, and leftover food particles that have accumulated overnight. Rinse the scraper and repeat this 3 or 4 times, then give your tongue a final rinse. Once a day is usually enough, though some people find it helpful to do it at night as well, especially if they smoke or have ongoing oral health issues. Within a week or 2, you will notice that your breath feels fresher, your sense of taste grows sharper, and your teeth seem cleaner because the bacteria on your tongue are no longer contributing to plaque buildup. If you're someone over 60 who has struggled with gum sensitivity, bad breath, or that nagging feeling that toothpaste alone never fully banishes, you will be amazed at how quickly tongue scraping can improve your mouth's health. In my own experience, after adding this 3-minute step to my morning routine, the change was dramatic. My coffee tasted sharper, I wasn't self-conscious about breath in social interactions, and my dentist even commented on the drop in plaque during my next cleaning. Now, let's shift our focus to the second body part that people often just let languish: the feet. Think about how much your feet endure every single day riding in shoes, walking on different surfaces, and carrying your entire body weight. Yet for many of us, especially older adults, foot care means nothing more than a quick rinse in the shower. The problem is, when we skip proper foot hygiene, we open the door to fungal infections, calluses that become painful, and even nerve problems that can compromise balance. Every foot contains 26 bones, 33 joints, over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments, nearly a quarter of all the bones in your body. Poor circulation, which becomes more common with age, means that your feet are often the first place to show signs of trouble. If circulation is sluggish, cuts and calluses heal more slowly, making your feet vulnerable. Here's an effective daily foot care ritual that takes just 5 minutes but will transform how your feet look and feel. First, find a comfortable place where you can sit, perhaps the edge of the bathtub or a small stool in your bathroom. Use warm, not hot, water to soften the skin, because hot water dries out feet and can aggravate cracks. Wet a soft washcloth or a specially designed foot brush, add a gentle, fragrance-free soap, and clean every inch of your feet, tops, sides, soles, and especially the spaces between your toes. Those interdigital spaces are prime real estate for bacteria and fungus. Gently lift each toe and rub between them to remove any lingering debris. Once your feet are clean, rinse thoroughly with warm water, then use a clean, dedicated foot towel, never a body towel, to pat each foot completely dry, including between the toes. Moisture that lingers in those pockets can breed athlete's foot or other fungal infections. Now that your feet are dry, inspect them closely, look for any new cuts, red spots, swelling, or unusual calluses. If you notice anything suspicious, it's best to consult a healthcare provider, especially if you have diabetes or circulatory issues. Next, apply a generous dab of moisturizing cream to the tops and soles of your feet, but never between the toes. Excess moisture there encourages fungal growth. Use a lotion or cream formulated for sensitive skin, massaging it in with slow, firm strokes to get the blood flowing. Finally, slip on a pair of clean, breathable socks made from natural fibers. Cotton or wool blends wick moisture away from your skin and help keep your feet dry throughout the day. When this simple routine ceases to a habit, every morning or night, you won't believe how much more comfortable you'll feel when you stand and walk. No more tight, cracking heels or that persistent sense of dryness that makes your feet ache after a long day. You'll also notice improved balance and stability. Moisturizing your feet and stimulating circulation eases stiffness in your ankles and arches, reducing the risk of falls. Now that we've tackled the tongue and the feet, let's move up your body to a region that doesn't get nearly enough attention: the underarms. For most people, armpit care means lathering on some deodorant or antiperspirant and calling it a day. But here's the hidden truth: your underarms house a network of lymph nodes, small but critical filters that help your body flush toxins and fight infection. They also harbor sweat glands that release sweat, along with the dead skin cells and bacteria that contribute to body odor. What happens when this area is neglected or covered only in heavy fragrances? Bacteria multiply in the warm, moist skin folds, clogging pores and leading to rashes, clogged glands, or even painful infections. Over time, residual chemicals from antiperspirants can build up, causing inflammation of the lymph nodes just beneath the surface. This may not sound like a big deal at first, but chronic underarm inflammation places extra stress on your immune system and can contribute to regional discomfort, and some experts even suspect it can influence lymphatic health well beyond your armpits. So how do you give your underarms the attention they deserve? First, during your shower, take a moment to lather your underarms thoroughly with a mild, fragrance-free soap. Think of it as cleaning behind your ears or under your breasts. These are vulnerable, often damp areas that need intentional attention. Use a soft washcloth to gently scrub all the way to the hairline and the crease where your arm meets your torso. Move in multiple directions, up and down, side to side, circles, to dislodge sweat, dead skin, and product buildup. Rinse completely. After you step out, pat the area dry with a clean towel, not the same one you used on your feet or your torso, to ensure you're removing every drop of moisture. This step is crucial. Leftover dampness can lead to that itchy, red rash known as intertrigo, and can also encourage bacterial growth. Once your skin is dry, allow a minute or two of air drying before applying any product. If you choose to wear antiperspirant, look for formulas that are aluminum-free and fragrance-free to minimize potential skin irritation. If your skin tends to be sensitive, consider switching to a natural deodorant made with ingredients like baking soda or activated charcoal, and test a small patch of skin first to ensure you won't get a rash. Finally, inspect your underarms regularly, at least once a week, looking for any lumps, bumps, redness, or unusual discoloration. If you notice persistent swelling or lumps in your underarm area, it's always wise to get it checked by a healthcare provider. Caring for your underarms in this way helps keep those lymph nodes functioning properly and reduces the risk of hidden skin infections. And here's a bonus you might not expect: by minimizing odor-causing bacteria, you'll often find that you can reapply deodorant less frequently, saving you money and lowering your exposure to potentially irritating chemicals. As your underarms regain balance, you'll likely notice that you feel fresher throughout the day, and you might even sleep better, no waking up itching or imagining that you smell of stale sweat. It's amazing how a little extra attention in the morning can last you all day long, wherever you go. Now, let's head higher up and talk about your nose, an area most people don't even realize needs regular cleansing. We take nearly 20,000 breaths each day, yet many of us give zero thought to what's happening inside our nasal passages. The nose is actually one of the body's most powerful first lines of defense, filtering out dust, pollen, and harmful microbes before they can reach your lungs. As we get older, the tiny hairs and mucous membranes that trap these particles can become less effective, especially if they're coated in a layer of dried mucus, allergens, or pollution. When your nasal passages are clogged, you may not only breathe harder, but your entire immune system bears the brunt. Lingering irritants can inflame your sinuses, cause congestion, and even lead to chronic sinus infections. Over time, poor nasal hygiene can contribute to lower sleep quality, reduced oxygen intake, and a general feeling of fatigue. Imagine driving a car with a clogged air filter. Your engine can't perform at its best, and your gas mileage suffers. The same thing happens in your body if your nose isn't clean and clear. Here's the simple solution: daily nasal rinsing. There are two common methods, a saline spray and a neti pot, and each has its benefits. If you're just beginning or you have sensitive mucous membranes, a saline spray can be a gentle introduction. Choose an over-the-counter, pre-mixed saline solution, no harsh chemicals, just pure salt and water in the correct proportion, and give a short, gentle spray into each nostril once in the morning and once at night. You'll feel a slight tickle or saltiness, but it's surprisingly soothing, and it helps wash away pollen, dust, and excess mucus. If you're a bit more adventurous or you've tried saline sprays without fully clearing your sinuses, a neti pot offers a more thorough cleanse. Fill it with warm, not hot, sterile or distilled water mixed with a quarter to half teaspoon of non-iodized salt. Lean over the sink, tilt your head to one side, and gently pour the solution into the upper nostril. Let it flow through your nasal passages and out the other side, then repeat on the opposite side. Some people find it strange the first time, but afterward they describe clear, light breathing that feels almost euphoric when compared to a blocked-up nose. Always be sure to wash and dry your neti pot after use to prevent bacterial growth. When you commit to this morning and evening ritual, paired perhaps with a steam inhalation if your sinuses are persistently congested, you'll breathe more easily, sleep more soundly, and significantly reduce your risk of sinus infections. Over time, you may even notice that your sense of smell grows sharper and your overall mental clarity improves because your brain is getting more consistent oxygen flow. For anyone who has relied on over-the-counter decongestants or steroid nasal sprays, this simple saline approach can be a refreshing alternative, natural, cost-effective, and highly effective. Now that we've explored tongue cleaning, foot care, underarms, and nasal hygiene, it's time for the final hidden gem, the belly button. It might seem odd, why would I need to clean that? But your navel is a dark, cozy pocket where sweat, dead skin, lint, and bacteria collect day after day. Most people assume that when they shower, water and soap magically flush out that little crater, but in reality, only the outer rim gets cleaned. The inner depths often remain coated with residue that can start to smell faintly musty or even become a breeding ground for yeast or bacteria. Over time, a neglected belly button can develop a subtle odor, a rash, or even a small infection that you might not notice until it becomes painful. For older adults, especially those with chronic illnesses or compromised immunity, belly button infections, even minor ones, can be more serious. Here's the simple fix: every single day, when you are already in the shower, pause and focus on your navel for just 30 seconds. Use a cotton swab dipped in warm, soapy water or, if you prefer something gentler, a washcloth with a bit of diluted Castile soap. Gently swirl inside the belly button to dislodge any lint, sweat, or debris. If you have piercings, especially, you'll want to be even more careful, since those small holes can trap bacteria and lead to infections if not cleaned properly. Once you've swirled around a few times, rinse thoroughly with warm water until all soap is gone. Pat completely dry with a clean towel. Never leave your belly button damp, as that moisture can encourage fungal growth. Then, if your skin tends to be dry, apply a tiny drop of natural oil like coconut or vitamin E to the outer rim, never deep inside. This simple step prevents dryness and cracking while keeping the pocket surface protected. Doing this every day will eliminate odors, reduce the risk of minor infections, and keep your skin feeling healthier. Just think of it as polishing a hidden gem. Once you begin, you'll notice that your torso feels fresher, and you might even find yourself wondering why you never paid attention to it before. Let's recap for a moment: your tongue, your feet, your underarms, your nose, and your belly button. These 5 spots are natural harbors for bacteria, debris, and potential infection, yet most people forget to clean them properly. The consequences, especially as we age, can be profound, ranging from chronic bad breath and gum disease to fungal foot infections, lymphatic congestion, poor sleep, respiratory issues, and even low-level belly infections that go unnoticed until they flare up. But here's the empowering truth: none of this requires expensive treatments, prescriptions, or hours spent in front of the mirror. You can protect yourself, boost your immune system, and enhance your overall vitality with just a few extra minutes of care each day. To drive the point home, consider this: healthy hygiene habits in these areas are like small deposits in your savings account for long-term health. For example, cleaning your tongue daily not only brightens your smile and freshens your breath, but it reduces bacteria that, if left unchecked, can travel to your gut or bloodstream, raising the risk of systemic inflammation that contributes to heart disease and cognitive decline. When you care for your feet, you're not just avoiding smelly shoes. You're improving circulation, reducing foot pain, and lowering your fall risk, a critical factor for anyone over 50. If you keep your underarms and lymph nodes clear, you ease the load on your immune system, support healthy detoxification channels, and prevent the low-level inflammation that can accelerate aging. By rinsing your sinuses daily, you guarantee your brain receives oxygen-rich air, reduce the frequency of sinus infections, and improve sleep quality, fueling better cognitive function and a more resilient immune response. And when you cleanse your belly button thoroughly, you eliminate a hidden pocket of bacteria, prevent rashes and fungal growth, and keep your core feeling clean and refreshed, boosting your overall sense of comfort and confidence. When you add all 5 of these practices into your existing routine: a morning tongue scrape before coffee, a dedicated foot wash and moisturizing step after your shower, a targeted underarm scrub and thorough rinse, a quick nasal rinse with saline, and a 30-second belly button cleanse, you're investing about 10 extra minutes into your day. 10 minutes that can pay dividends in fewer illnesses, less chronic discomfort, better energy, and even a longer, more vibrant life. Just ask Sarah, a 72-year-old retired school librarian, who began noticing that despite brushing twice a day, her breath still felt stale. Once she learned about tongue scraping, she started doing it each morning. Within days, she realized her coffee tasted better, her breath stayed fresh for hours, and her dentist marveled at the improved gum health at her next checkup. Or consider Frank, a 78-year-old World War II veteran who hadn't thought about his feet beyond wearing thick socks. He began washing and drying his feet meticulously each night, then applying a medicated cream to a stubborn toenail fungus. 3 months later, his fungus was gone, he was pain-free, and his walking speed improved, giving him the confidence to join the local senior walking group. Then there's Linda, a 69-year-old semi-retired nurse, who never bothered with nasal rinsing until she started experiencing energy dips and frequent sinus headaches. After adding a quick saline spray each morning, she says she finally remembers what it's like to breathe fully, her headaches vanished, and she stopped reaching for antihistamines every week. These are not rare, fluke results. They're proof that when older adults apply targeted attention to these 5 often ignored areas, their everyday quality of life can jump dramatically. Imagine taking a short walk after breakfast without that nagging foot pain, or going to bed without waking up choking on congestion, or simply feeling confident during social gatherings because you know your breath and underarms are fresh. These are the small, but powerful wins that add up to significant improvements. If you've made it this far in the video, I have one more request: share this information with a friend or family member, perhaps a parent, grandparent, or close friend, because so many older adults simply don't know they need to do these things. Educating each other is how we collectively raise our health baseline. If you found these tips valuable, tap that like button and subscribe so that you can receive more straightforward, science-backed strategies for living your healthiest life. Thank you for taking these extra minutes to learn about your body's hidden needs. Now it's up to you to put these practices into action. Your path to feeling sharper, stronger, and more vibrant, no matter your age, begins with a few extra moments of care each day. Your tongue, feet, underarms, nose, and belly button are the gateways to systemic health challenges. Treat them with intention, and watch how much lighter and more energized you feel. You have the power right now to improve your health, one overlooked body part at a time. So go ahead, try these 5 targeted steps tonight or first thing tomorrow morning, and notice the difference. Here's to living longer, stronger, and more fully, starting today.